going gray to being gray. That's what we're going to talk about. And it's a bit of a chatty video, so grab yourself something good to drink. Um, this is kind of the very beginning of me cutting my hair short and just deciding, yep, I'm going to do this. I'm going to let it grow out, no more color. So let's put some bold lips on and pearls. And now you can see it is starting to come out. I am seeing silver in my hair, and now I'm going to cut it with an asymmetrical cut just to get me through this, a growth stage. And yike, sometimes it's gross looking, but then other times you just get on with it and accept it. Now it's really starting to come in, and I'm starting to get a little more style. So we're going to keep cutting the back up, and we're going to just let it keep growing out. I did everything I could, to wearing hats during that time, to putting on some pretty bold lips, and even if you have long hair, throw it on top of your head, because eventually it comes out and you really end up loving it. Use some good care on your hair, from shampoo to conditioner to good brushes and good tools, and soon enough, it's not that long, it does seem gruesome, it comes out and it's the natural color that your hair wants to be. And this is a comparison from 2018 Easter to 2019 Mother's Day. And now this is it. It is silver. I'm not even sure so much I can say it's a salt and pepper, because it sure looks like it's a lot of salt. But, the end result is so freeing. You no longer feel like you have to hide behind things.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Hello and welcome back to my returning subscribers, and a warm welcome to those of you that are new. This video today is going to be about, once again, I want to talk on the topic of gray hair and where I'm at with my gray hair, and still continue to talk about the process. And I just want to encourage those of you who are in the midst of growing your hair out to your natural color, or you're contemplating it. I still want to come out and post a video and talk to you to encourage you to continue on with your journey. So I have several videos on growing out my gray hair, and I'm not quite sure yet, but I think I will go ahead and still, for those of you that may not have seen those videos, I will link a couple of them below, and I will repost some of my beginning stages and early growth. Um, but I want to just say, okay, so where am I in the process? Well, and you can see I just have, this is, don't do anything with your hair today, because today was my watch my granddaughter day. So, but my hair is grown out. But even though it is grown out from a root to bottom at, this stage, it is still forever changing. The color tone is changing. The structure of my hair is also changing, because it is becoming healthier and healthier. And so I just thought I would share with you, well, what now? Or where am I at? So let me just give you a little bit of insight into um, my history with my own hair. I have always been the type of person who loves to change their hairstyle. I've never been afraid of it. So I've had my hair long, I've had it short, I've had it mid-length, I've had it pixied, in many different hair colors, from deep dark chestnut brown to burgundy to light brown to dark blondish, light caramel blonde. I've had it, um, you know, well, I'm going to really date myself and go back to the peroxide. I used to run strips of peroxide through cotton balls and just put them on your hair and then go sit out in the sun and think that this glorious, magnificent, wonderful thing was going to happen, which, yeah, it did happen, but it wasn't glorious and magnificent. It just turns your hair orange, you know. And so, I have gone through all of that. The hair frosting, we used to call it, with the cap, and taking that little crochet hook, that steel crochet hook, and digging it in there and poke at your scalp, and then putting that bleach on that would seep through the cap and get onto your scalp and crazily burn your hair, and all the way to I've even had my hair balayaged. Um, so, and just the normal, I think, change of wanting a different color younger. Um, Definitely not to cover up any grays, but it was just to, enrich your hair. And I did find at times when I would put hair color onto my hair at that point to either color the root system, or now I'm noticing grays, that my hair felt like it would kind of have a little more body to it, or it would feel better after I colored it, but not for very long. Not for very long at all. And I do have to say, at this point, so since I started my process, okay, let me think. In 2016, I started to really say, okay, that's it, no more dye. In 2016, the very beginning. And, I do have to say, so from that period to now, okay, my hair is the healthiest it's ever been, ever. And I do think it's because of a couple of different reasons, and not just because I'm not dyeing it. I believe not dyeing it is the main reason that it's in much, much better shape. But I think that no matter where you're at, or no matter what you're contemplating, irregardless if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and you're thinking about this, then educate yourself. There's a lot of great YouTube videos out there. There's a lot of communities out there who are in support of women to do it, because, listen, does it take courage? I believe it does. Does it take some tenacity? Yes, I believe it does. Does it take, some might say, stupidity to think you want to grow your hair out to gray? I mean, I guess if you want to look at it like that, sort of, I don't ever want to consider myself or think of myself as being stupid, but have I done things that weren't quite, really smart? Yes. But for years after dyeing my hair, I would look at a woman who was in her young age, 30s, and letting no dye ever touch her hair, or letting her grays naturally come out, and I would think, what's wrong with her? There has to be something wrong with a woman who wants to have that kind of natural, awful look. And, okay, so it wasn't popular then. So was that a deterrent for me because other people weren't doing it? Or, you're just looking like maybe a square if you don't dye your hair. I mean, for whatever all those thoughts were, and trust me, I'm admitting it without shame, I thought that those thoughts, and I thought that way, and I certainly did not want it for myself. So I spent years and years putting color on my hair. And, in the beginning, I would do it myself a lot because it was simple and easy. And then when those grays started coming out and they became resilient and they didn't like hair dye, okay, then I started to have to go and get it done. And like I said, so I used to get it dyed once every 8 weeks, once every 7, 6, 5, 4, and then once every 3 weeks. And these things are still like popping out saying, hello, I'm here, haha, can you see me? um, yeah, it starts to get old, it starts to get real tiring. And my hair, my hair, my hair felt um, strawy, and I always have used good shampoo products for my hair, my scalp, because I have a lot of issues with not dandruff, but dry scalp, and along the hairline, to where it would even, my neck area, back behind my ears would get super sensitive, very, like irritated, dry. So I've always had to use good hair products. But it got to a point after several years that the hair starts to feel starchy. I mean, really starchy, like it doesn't have any life and it feels like straw. And so, I was always good about, putting on a mask, or, um, when Bath and Body first came out publicly to the market and everybody was going like crazy over all their stuff, one of their hair products that they had was a banana hair mask. And that stuff smelled so luxurious. I mean, it's just like a pool of fresh bananas. And it just was so nice on your hair that around that time period, I really started paying attention to really treating my hair with hair masks and really trying to get the moisture restored back to it. And so for as long as that treatment would last, it would be like, okay, let's do this a couple of times a month. Okay, now let's do this, once a week, and, maybe every third wash. But also I went through a time period where I was washing my hair every day. Every day, no matter what length it was, no matter if it was pixie short or bob length, every day, every day, because it would not hold body. And I think I had dried it out so badly that it would produce, I think, more oil. And so I would get that heavier feel to my hair, to where it's just like, okay, my hair doesn't have any body. It feels yuck. So I needed to have that fresh, clean hair feeling every day. So I washed my hair every day. So what's changed? Well, what's changed is this is my natural color, and it is, kind of salt and pepperish. And, I never really knew what hair color I might end up with. I mean, I thought from my mom's side I would have a chance to have some good combination if I did this at, the time period that I was starting to, that I would probably have a good combination of a silver-ish color. Um, that's when I decided, okay, well, I'm just going to go for it, whatever. And for me, as I've talked about in my prior videos, I decided to start at a very short hair crop. Like I said, I have never been afraid or fearful of cutting my hair, wearing it in a different style, you know, pixieing it. It's just, I think about it, I gather a bunch of pictures, and then I normally don't ever just go one day and say, cut it all off. It's a process, and usually I'll start shortening it, and that's kind of what I did when I decided to grow it out. I knew I was contemplating it. I just wasn't sure when I was going to do it, but when my husband's job transfer came up and I knew I wasn't going to go to work after we moved, I thought, perfect time. Just grow it out. So I started cutting it shorter because there were just some really cute stacked shorter bobs that were pretty popular, and I liked them. So I started doing that little shorter, and then it kind of went over my ears. And then when I grew it out, I just really went full-blown pixie, just cut it. Because, you know, everybody else out there has an opinion. Everybody else is going to say to you, you're crazy, you're nuts. You know, just like I did. I said those things to other people, like, what are you doing? What's going on up there? Need a little color? You want me to help you color it? You know, everybody has an opinion. And what I'm learning at my age now, that so many young people have already learned, is that it is not your business what other people think about whatever it is you're deciding to do. So you have to have the determination, the commitment, the courage, and the like a real consistent way of thinking day in and day out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm one step closer to it all being grown out. I mean, if anything, challenge yourself to say, I want to see what it looks like, you know? And then if I don't like it, I can go back and dye it, but don't do that. But it's still your choice. It's still something that you can do. So I think that if you're growing your hair out for you, it's the right reason. But if you're not doing it because it's not pleasing to someone else, or other people are going to make their comments, have their opinions, and you find that it's just bothersome to you, then you have to work on some other issues well before you get to this point. And other people start it and they look at themselves and they think, oh, I look haggard, I look old, I don't like the way this looks. Well, honestly, I'm being brutally honest, I didn't like the way it looked either when it was growing out. So I did things, wore hats. I cut my hair short. For me, that was a solution to not wanting to go through a big grow out with a line of demarcation. For me, red lips, makeup, wore my hair kind of spiky so I could kind of bring the crown root upward so you couldn't really see how much was growing out, you know, just doing things like that. And I kept it short. I kept it super short. And I even talked about in one of my videos just trying to even out the gray that was growing out and maybe putting in a few streaks, and went to hairdressers and, you know, had them try their hand at it, and it just always ended up being a disaster. And then I even tried something at home with a non-permanent color, and that was a real disaster. Yeah, I'll link that video below because that's when I talk about looking like a unicorn, or, I don't know, a funky leprechaun or something. I had purple hair, blue, purple, for like about 2 months. It was awful. But yeah, I went through it and I got through it. I cut it. I had him cut it super, super short. It wasn't very flattering on me, but it was, I worked with it, and I just let it grow out. And I kind of was a little more determined too, because, you know, odds were my family was taking bets and like, you're never going to do it. You're going to get sick of it. You're going to, you know, end up dyeing it. So the challenge of it is fun too. So if you look at it from that perspective, but if you look at yourself every day in the mirror as you're getting ready and you see this image and you tell yourself, I don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing. It's driving me crazy. If you really want to do this, then you have to put those thoughts aside and you have to change the way you're thinking. Like, okay, I don't like it. Half the people that look at it or see me like this probably are thinking, ooh, that looks awful. Okay, so what? It does. It's not forever. It's not forever. And there's so many fun headbands and hairbands, and now barrettes are all coming back in style, like great big ones, and hats, and you know, there's so much you can do to change the image of the grow out while it's growing out. And I love to put on makeup. I think mascara and powder and lipstick do amazing things. So you don't have to go into all this heavy duty stuff, but boy, sometimes just a nice pair of long earrings and some deep, bold lips. Bold to represent how you're feeling inside. Bold and strong and courageous. And most importantly, you're doing this for you. You're doing this for you. And I know it's important for us to feel like our spouses, significant others are attracted to us or they're pleased with the way we look. But it's also important for you to have your own sense of being and knowing that this is something I want to do, you know, and there's like a whole gamut of reasons that I can tell you, okay, why do you do it? Okay, number one, it's better for your hair. Number two, it's way better for your scalp. Number three, it's a lot more economical when you're not spending money on dye or having it done in a salon. And I'm not knocking what the salons do because they do great, beautiful work. But, and to me, it was worth paying for even hair color and to go through that. I think it's much healthier for your hair to be in its, you know, natural coloring state. Don't struggle for years and years with, you know, honestly, how long do you think it takes before you get to the point where you're like, look, the grays are coming out again? So by the time you get there, it's like 10 days after you've had your hair dyed and you're starting to see them poking out. You know, they're wiry, they're springy, they're very nervy, and they're gutsy because they come out 3, 4, 5 days after you've had your hair dyed because they don't want to be dyed anymore. I think you have to listen. You have to listen to what's going on with the changes in your life because women, we face all kinds of changes from the age of 40 to 50 to 60 and on. And we have to listen to ourselves. We don't have to lay down, roll over, and die and just say, okay, we're done. We're done. We don't need to take care of ourselves anymore. We don't, you know, need to put on makeup or we don't need to do any of it. We don't. And if you don't want to, then don't. But I do think it's important that we can present ourselves in the best light and what's comfortable for us. I think it's really important. I think it's encouraging to other people. So doing this and contemplating it, you have to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. Here's what I think is important. What I think is important is that you contemplate it, study it, think about it, talk about it. Anything you can do to not put the emphasis on maybe what triggers your eye in your mind every time you look in the mirror. Because if it makes you feel good just to cover it up with a hat, then you can do that. And like I said, I'm going to link the other videos that I've done on this, because I've had one or two that have had like lots and lots of reviews on them, and I still get people asking me, how long did it take you? And I just think it's important for me to keep coming out here and talking about it, because like I said, I believe I am a woman of courage. I changed my hairstyle a lot, and I really wasn't that sure after even going through the 2 years of growth that I went through to get it to grow out. Am I going to end up dyeing it again? And I can tell you wholeheartedly, oh, absolutely not. I am in heaven. What's the benefits? I feel freedom. I just feel like my hair is healthy. I might cut it short again. I may do that because I've been known to do that all my life. But it feels good. My scalp feels good. My hair feels enriched. And so what's important is find a good shampoo, a good conditioner that works for you. Work on cutting back on washing your hair. If you're a frequent washer, work on cutting that back. Work on instituting hair treatments, whether it's olive oil or mayo and egg combination or something that you buy off the market. There's so much that's out there, especially for types of hair: curly, straight, dry, brittle, oily. It's out there. You can find it. And make a decision for you. Make a decision that it's what you want. It's something different. It's something new. It's a change. Maybe it's just because you're curious to see, well, what would I look like with my hair gray? Or would it be white? Or would it be silver? Or, you know, if you feel like during the process it's washing you out, put on some red lips. Put on some dark pink. Put on some eyelashes, or wear a hat or a headband, or do whatever. But challenge yourself. Be strong. Be courageous about it. And I also think, you know, another important factor, and since I'm almost done with this video, ooh, yes, I'll just take this down. Get yourself some good tools. And when I say good tools, I mean good brushes, good hot tools, one that is, you know, not going to fry or burn your hair. You have to be careful. Use a heat protectant. One that I use that I absolutely love is Orlando Pita Play. And also, good tools like these big fat thick combs. Sometimes if I put a little back combing in my hair, these go through your hair so gently, and I just kind of like to run it through my hair. And every night, ooh, I've got some snarls in there. I like to take this 4 bristle brush. I will tell you the name of this one. Session Pro Tools. I'm not sure. I really am not sure where I got it. I either got it on Amazon or Ulta, and I will try to link it below. But it's a great brush, and I love the way it feels. And every night I take this brush, and I do this mostly for my scalp because it just feels so good. And I brush it through. Now my hair right now is, this is Thursday. So Thursday, yeah, I washed my hair on Tuesday. So I washed it early morning Tuesday, and I have not been really blowing it dry every day, but this last time I did on Tuesday because it's been rainy and some days have been humid, and so I've just been kind of letting it go, washing it at night, and just letting it air dry, or washing it early in the morning and letting it air dry. And then I might put just a few little curls in it just to even it up. But every night, I love this brush. I absolutely love this brush for brushing my hair. And really, I think mostly because it just massages my scalp. And it feels so good. Now, you might be thinking, well, aren't you just pulling your oils through your hair? I mean, it's tomorrow when I get up, my hair will still look pretty much the way it looks right now. Honestly, it will. And, yeah, I mean, I might have a little bend in it or something, but that kind of brush is so stimulating to your scalp, and it feels so good. And so I do brush my hair, and I tend to do it at night, and then in the morning I'll pretty much take my thick combed brush and my comb, and just run it through my hair. And of course, I've talked about this. I have a video on this one, and this is the Revlon. Love this. This adds so much body to my hair. And like I said, wow product. Also, can't talk enough about it. Really helps during the humidity. But yeah, for hair that was washed on Tuesday all day, and I actually had lunch with a friend on Tuesday, and we were outside, and it was kind of windy, and we ate outside, but my hair had a lot of outside weather, and I was outside yesterday a lot. So for it to be Tuesday all day, Wednesday all day, Thursday all day, it's good hair. I hope this helps encourage you if you're on your way to doing this. If you're thinking about it, then I'm going to try to link the videos that I've done on growing my grays out, and I might even insert a couple of pictures from start to now. And I was just recently asked how long did it take, so it really took 2 years. It really took 2 years. And like I said, I went with a really short pixie, and then I kind of went with that you know, one side was shorter, and then I just wore it behind my ear, and then the other side I started angling it so that it could start to grow out, and I just kept cutting the back short and short and short and short and short and short during the grow out process. So I had it as an asymmetrical for quite a while, just so I felt like I had a little bit of a hairstyle that was, you know, not too old-fashioned, but maybe one that still looked appropriate for my age. So I'll dig out some pictures and insert them, and trust me, there were times where I just thought, yuck, blah, oh, I don't want to look at what my hair looks like. So I did what I could to avoid it. And if it meant I had to put on a hat, then I put on a hat. So I hope this helps encourage anybody who's out there who's just like, standing on the fence and wants to take that dive in. Do it, but do some research first, because that always helps. And there are people and groups out there that will support you and encourage you, and I think that's great. And there's also those out there who will discourage you. So put on that strong armor, because you need it, and you need to just get through it. And you know what? You need to have a sense of humor about it, because I know there were times that I would dig like this and just go and go, look at that, and go, What am I doing? Am I crazy? Well, who cares? I've done other crazy things, so this is just one of them. But, ooh, right now, you know how they say you like the skin you're in? Well, I'm liking the hair I'm in. So, there you go. So, until next time, be kind, be humble, and age gracefully. Bye.